So, welcome all in person and online. Welcome to the Thursday evening spiritual practices at the Olympia Unitarian Universalist Congregation. My name is Sarah Lewis. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve as OUUC's Director of Community and Faith Development. So thank you for joining me for what will be about a 30-minute practice tonight. It's a candle blessing for the pagan Sabbat of Imbolc. And so for those who are joining us on Zoom, I invite you to grab a candle if you have one handy at all. We will be blessing them across the distance. So go ahead and take a moment to get yourself a candle to bless. And for those who are here in the sanctuary today, if you brought candles that you wanted blessed, please do feel free to bring them up here to the table if you haven't already. And when you leave today, I have candles here on the table, some that I made and some that are in nice little glass jars, and you are invited to take a candle and use it in whatever way brings you, I don't know, all the good things that are going to come from blessing our candles. All right. So first, a short explanation of Imbolc for those who don't know. Imbolc is celebrated on February 1st, so next week, and it marks the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, so halfway in that solar calendar. In the Celtic calendar, it would have been the beginning of spring, and it's a holiday for celebrating the birth of new animals and new milk that came with that. If you were hungry all winter, that was a delightful thing to occur. It's also a holiday that is special to the goddess Brigid, patron goddess of Ireland, who's most associated with this Sabbath. Traditions that you might have seen include the making of corn or wheat dolls, the Brigid's crosses that are woven out of wheat stalks, and the blessing of candles, which we'll do tonight. This is from the book of Imbolc in Llewellyn's Sabbath Essentials series. Quote, "Imbolc is the light at the end of the tunnel, the birth of the new spring. It is still a small light, like a candle in the distance, because spring is still some distance away. This makes it only right to celebrate Imbolc with candles rather than torches or blazing balefires, as will mark the summer celebrations." So welcome to this celebration of a small light at the end of the tunnel. And as is often done in the pagan tradition, which is grounded in respect and reverence for the natural world, we will begin by calling the four directions. I will invite you to move as you wish, but you don't have to move your physical body to be turning your attention to the directions. So please join me in whatever way you want to. Each direction is associated with an element of the natural world and represents some part of our human nature as well. The directions are not seen as separate and isolated, but rather as part of the interdependent system that makes up our world. So we will begin in the east, turning toward the rising sun. If you wish to join me in moving your body, we would be facing this corner of our sanctuary. The element of the east is air, represented by feathers and the air that we breathe and give us life. It is the direction of inspiration, the word that literally means to take in air. The East is associated with the mind, with knowledge and learning and intellectual curiosity. So imagine the birds turning and wheeling in the air. Imagine the breeze blowing through your hair. Turning toward the East, we look for a fresh start, an invigorating breath, a new idea. When we are feeling stuck in a rut, beholden to a routine, or if the wind has gone out of our sails, just look eastward. And now we move around the wheel to the south. The element of the south is fire, and in the southern symbol, it is burning bright. Fire is a transformative force. It is heat and light and powerful change. In the northern hemisphere, it makes sense that we associate the south toward the equator with the warmth of the sun and the heat of the flame. We see birds move south, butterflies move south, whales move south, seeking warmer places when the weather gets cold. When our internal weather gets cold, turning south is a metaphor for turning toward warmth and daylight, seeking out the changes that will warm us up and get our blood moving, call us out of our winters, out of hibernation, and into action. Continuing around our circle, we arrive in the west. The element of the west is water. It is symbolized by water both in us and in the world. Remember, we hold water. It is a direction that calls us to self-reflection and self-understanding. Our emotions move in us like water, flowing through our lives, sometimes calm and sometimes turbulent, but always flowing. When we dam up our feelings, just like when we dam up a river, the pressure might build until it finds an outlet. If you are seeking to get in touch with your inner life, with your emotions, turn to the west. And finally, we move now to the north. The element of the north is earth, represented by dirt, by growing things, by stability, the ground of our being. The north represents the place that holds us, that allows us time and space to heal and grow, to feel nurtured and respected. It is also the place of embodiment, of connecting with our physical self, with the concrete, tangible world around us. The north calls to you if you are seeking balance, the deep wisdom that lives in your bones, a place of rest and recovery. We have moved through these 4 directions, giving them shape and meaning. East, air, breath, and inspiration. South, fire, transformation, and action. West, water, feeling, and reflection. And north, earth, balance, and wisdom. So now I invite you to turn toward the direction that is calling to you today. What is it that you feel a need for in your life right now? East, air, breath, and inspiration. South, fire, transformation, and action. West, water, feeling, and reflection. Or north, earth, balance, and wisdom. And as you choose your direction, please join me in a few minutes of silent meditation, asking for this element to come into your life. I invite you to return to your seated, comfortable position, but remember, the elements are always with you inside. And now I invite those at home who wish to join us in lighting a chalice to do so as we light our chalice here in the sanctuary. Our chalice lighting words are from our gray hymnal. This is reading number 543 by Greta Crosby. Let us not wish away the winter. It is a season to itself, not simply the way to spring. When the trees rest, growing no leaves, gathering no light, they let in sky and trace themselves delicately against dawns and sunsets. The clarity and brilliance of the winter sky delights. The loom of fog softens edges, lulls the eyes and ears of the quiet, awakens by risk the unquiet. A low, dark sky can snow, emblem of individuality, liberality, and aggregate power. Snow invites us to contemplation. Winter is a table set with ice and starlight. Winter dark tends to warm light, fire and candle. Winter cold to hugs and huddles. Winter want to gifts and sharing. Winter danger to visions, plans, and common endeavoring. Winter tedium to merrymaking. Let us therefore remember to praise winter, rich in beauty, challenge, and pregnant negativity. And now we will bless the candles. So if you are at home, go ahead and bring your candle close to your computer connection. This is going to work just across the magic connection of space and time. And we will begin with my focus candle. This focus candle has already been blessed. It brings the blessing from last year into this year. Year after year. Focus, if you will, on the flame of the candle, on the energy it represents, and become aware of the energy that we have drawn together now. And now begin to ground yourself. Grounding and fire together. Take a few deep breaths. And then plant your feet firmly on the earth. And I invite you to imagine and visualize roots growing down from your feet, through the floor, into the earth. Become rooted. And then envision growing branches up and out from your shoulders toward the sky. You don't have to actually hold up your arms, but imagine that you are and that you reach toward the sky with these beautiful branches stretching up, connecting you to the air and the sun. Feel the connection between earth and sky that is you. And now we invoke the divine in whatever forms we feel connected to. I will name many forms of the divine, but you may hold other names in your heart. And I invite you to also speak those names aloud after I have. And so we invoke you, Spirit of life, of love, Mother Earth, gracious Goddess, Brigid, Diana, Aphrodite, Goddess in all your forms, God, Pan, Cupid, God in all your forms, Great Divine, we call on you. I invite you to add the names of the divine that you hold in your heart. We call on you in all your forms to bestow your blessings on these tools of fire and air, that they may always provide energy that is steady, true, and positive. May these candles always call forth the divine spark when we need it most. And now focus again on the flame of the candle, on the energy it represents, of the energy that we are drawing together now. And then I invite you to see that energy coalescing all around the flame of the candle and spreading from there to all the other candles on the altar. And from there, spreading across our connection to all the candles that are joining us through the internet today. See the energy of the candle reaching out to all the other candles. Visualize the light and the energy. Continue visualizing this with me for a few minutes of silent meditation as we send our energy to bless all the candles that are being blessed today. Thank you all. Now we thank the divine that has been here with us. Spirit of life, of love, Mother Earth, great goddess in all your forms, God in all your forms. You bring blessings to us every day of our lives, and we thank you for coming here to offer the additional blessing upon these candles. Blessed divine in all your facets, protect us just as you have given protection to the candles gathered here and online. Thank you for bringing your energy to us tonight. And now, a prayer for winter by Deborah Wiener. O Spirit of life and love, we pause for a moment on this snowy day, or not so snowy day, depends where you are, to reflect on all the changes that time brings to our lives. We celebrate the Feast of Imbolc, the pagan holiday that heralds the coming of spring. Our hearts may be stirring with the thought that lambs are being born, that the light is increasing, that in many parts of our world, the earth has begun to stir from its winter sleep. We bow to the forces of nature that have stirred and will stir again and again, reminding us that through storms and sudden changes in our weather, we are not in charge. The earth is moved by jet streams, polar vortices, and many other forces And we must endure and be patient. And through it all, we are reminded again and again that we are not alone. May we continue to recognize that in this earth, our home, we are held. In this, our home of memory and hope, we will be welcomed and supported. In this sanctuary that we create together of celebration and contemplation, we may bring all of who we are and be both honored and affirmed. For all this and all that will come in the days ahead, we say, blessed be. Please join me again in our final few minutes of silent meditation, remembering that we are not in charge, but we are also not alone. Join me in the silence. I invite you to join me in this song if you know it. We'll repeat it several times. I know this rose will open. I know my fears will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fears will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fears will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fears will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. I know this rose will open. I know my fears will burn away. I know my soul will unfurl its wings. I know this rose will open. And so we come to the end of our practice, but not the end of the light that we carry with us, within us, amongst us, between us. And so if you have lit a candle or a chalice at home, I invite you to join with me in extinguishing that flame. May the blessed light travel with you as spark and seeds of hope in the midst of winter. May you carry the candles from today, knowing that you have also a spark of the divine always with you. Blessed be, and good night. Thus ends our practice. Please take a candle.